So we're getting the green. Can actually hear what's going on.
In Moreno Valley, standing up for their teacher after a video showing his disappointed reaction to the outcome of the presidential election went viral.
That video has now landed the history teacher on administrative leave and under investigation, but there is a movement growing tonight, people fighting to get him back in the classroom. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter joins us live from the newsroom with a look at what's stirring this controversy. Leanne?
Jory and Michelle, that video creating a political firestorm online and at the Inland Empire High School. Many students concerned for the popular teacher's future and their safety as the campus has been doxxed online.
A rapist, draft dodging. Why would he win? Why did he win?
An impassioned speech the day after the presidential election caught on camera at Valley View High School in Moreno Valley, now going viral on social media and under investigation by the school district.
Can you end up in a concentration camp in your lifetime? Yes!
The popular AP World History teacher at the center of the controversy is on administrative leave for his fervent and foul language lecture on Donald Trump's win.
Can you end up with no human rights? Yes. Will it happen to you? Most likely not. But has Donald Trump quoted Hitler? Yes. Does he embody some of Hitler's ideas? Yes.
I think they're trying to make him seem like a bad guy because of what he said. Because how he said it wasn't wrong. I know it was very strong toned, but that's how he gives his lecture as a professor.
Michael James was in the class Wednesday. She says the speech is being twisted on social media. Students now speaking out in support of the teacher.
It's just devastating to know that they're trying to get him out all because of his opinion.
Moreno Valley Unified School District says it does not condone the teacher's behavior, saying the discussion about election results turned unprofessional. In a statement, writing in part, quote, "We recognize the heightened emotions surrounding the current political climate, and we deeply value the diversity of our community. Our goal is to foster a respectful and inclusive learning environment that supports all students."
I feel like it was right for him to talk about what he said. I mean, it is world history AP, so it's like basically a college class.
I feel like it was appropriate. I feel like it wasn't like, I didn't take it the wrong way. And he was offering up a one-on-one apology after class.
Students say they are planning a walkout at the school on Tuesday in support of the teacher. More than 1,000 people have signed a change.org petition urging the district to return him to Valley View High. The district says the teacher will remain on administrative leave pending the outcome of its review.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great AP.
There's funky slide guitar music that comes in every Monday through Friday, live at 5 on the Evil FB Network and Rumble. We're back on YouTube. We're going to irritate those guys. As long as YouTube will let us irritate them, we're going to see how long this goes. If they want to shut me off and then turn me back on, okay, we'll play their game. I know a lot of people, oh, we're not going to do this because we don't want to upset the Evil G Network. So screw them. We're going to do it, and we'll play their little game all across the board. Today, maybe you can hear me on the commentary, so we will dub this Moreno Valley Unified S-Show Part 2 of that. Oh, I got the wrong one there. Now we'll get the right one on there. Man, what a day over there on that. It's fantastic, to say the least, that we got to go through this kind of crap each and every day. And it's going through all sorts of schools, not only in Chino, down in Orange County, across the country. Teachers are melting down. But what I want to get to and why I ran that clip first, you notice no one, at least that I've seen, any of the TV stations, anything else coming on, a report that they've been reporting about the students who protesting and all this. Not one about the school board meeting Tuesday night where the parents came out and the kids and people were commenting on some of the social media stuff like Moreno Valley Matters and stuff of how they agreed or the teacher didn't say anything that was wrong. This is what they're teaching. We'll go through the clips at the school board meeting that they won't show our faces. And they try to intimidate us and the students who are speaking out. It's a total S show going on over there. Has been for decades. Baca versus MVUSD, throwing people out, temper tantrums, family members disrupting the meetings up until last Tuesday night, and the board president doesn't do a damn thing. So I don't want to hear, ever, especially from Brandy Clark, of anybody that says anything in the audience or anything, she should be standing up for their right to do it because she let her husband do it repeatedly through the meetings. Is that part of the intimidation tactics? You were running from the board. You started off with me. Then the superintendent started to intimidate the students, telling them they could not exercise their free speech rights under the First Amendment to the Constitution. It was a total burn down for 4 hours, making people wait 4 hours to comment, to do public comments, is the biggest middle finger every one of you that was sitting on that board. Rude, the superintendent, even those of you sitting in the well, Verde, Arce, and Lopez, you got microphones, flip them on, saying this is not right. Sammy Luna wasn't there, the board member who got appointed 4 months ago. I ain't saying that she didn't have an excuse, but where is it? Why isn't it announced that you have an excused absence before the meeting so the BS starts? These cats are totally incompetent over there. Totally. 1 gazillion freaking % and more. Beyond belief. I tell you, some of the stuff, again, I've been to meetings, public meetings, school boards, city councils, county supervisors, water boards, for parts of 7 decades. The late Pete Bleckert used to drag me to them when I was a little kid. So I've been around this since before yesterday. So don't give me this noise or whatever. I've seen it. That is one, if it isn't the worst, in the top 3 of I have ever attended, which went on at that school board. It's horrendous. You heard some of the stuff. You didn't even hear the good stuff. Why aren't these news agencies pointing this out? What the hell was going on over there? What is going on there? You want to know why the school district is crap? You want to know why 3 out of 4 kids are not at grade level? Failure is failure, and no amount of PR or telling everybody how great you are, or the gazillions of dollars we have dumped into that school district and across the education, and it gets worse. You teachers need to start speaking up. You administrators need to start speaking up. Or just say, we don't give a crap. We just want to cash a paycheck in our lavish benefits, some of the highest pay for the least amount of work. Give me the sing-song of you teachers. And then any of you that want to come in here and sit right here, let's have a discussion about it. Let's go through the numbers. Don't cry poor mouth. You guys are very well paid for the amount of hours you work. Average teacher, prorated on a full year salary and benefits, is about $180,000 per year in California. Let's cut to the crap. Well, your kids get a piece of S education and a piece of S school districts practically across the state of California. Here's the first gentleman, Mr. Avila, I think. He will be on along with Patty Cabana, or I'm sure I'm butchering their names. They spoke. They were two of the speakers we'll feature. They will be on Newsmax somewhere between 7 and 9 o'clock our time tomorrow morning. So if you want to catch it on News Nation, they will be on that to highlight. You know, we're getting world famous over this in Moreno Valley. As world famous as this is probably when it's been in the Daily Mail, the New York Post, all across the nation. Corey DeAngelis, a great education expert, has Twittered this, and it's went all across the world. As they say, viral. Oscar Avila played part of the tape that you're not hearing on the news, except here. Let's see if she'll roll today.
During the work hours and on the premises of the agency. So the thing went viral. This teacher, Mr. Perez, I guess his name is, I guess he figured out that somebody had voted for Trump, and he got pretty upset, and he went crazy. So I don't know.
Latino men that wish they were white, and I'll never admit it to you. A lot of your fathers, a lot of your uncles, a lot of your grandfathers. God, they want to be white so bad, they never will be. What? Hate that.
That was Joanne Steffen that said, what? Yes, he told the kids, oh yeah, your fathers, uncles, grandfathers that voted for Trump, oh, they just want to be white. It's what he said in the class. Oh, you're not seeing that. Where are you at, KCAL, KTLA? And who else was ABC7? Oh, the kids protesting and they're being mean to our teacher and we want him back and he didn't say anything wrong. Where's the other rest of this? Why aren't you playing this? No, we got to get it on Newsmax, on News Nation, or the Daily Mail's got to print the right stuff, or the New York Post.
I hate Latino men that oppress the women in their family, their own daughters, and they turn around and vote for men that want to oppress them.
Okay, so that's unacceptable, right? He's cussing, he's calling people like us that are conservative, that we want to be white. This is a racial right? And
darn tootin', it's a racial deal. This school district put this book by Barbara DeAngelis and made it the book of the year and passed it out to all 3,500 employees of the Moreno Valley Unified Disorganized Crime Syndicate. This racist book, you want to know where the kids are getting it? From the school district. This is what you're subjecting your kids to. Read this book. It is a racist. It tells you how to hate yourself or hate someone else. It's a hate-filled novel. And this dingbat, Barbara DeAngelis, goes and they pay them. They pay her tens of thousands of dollars to indoctrinate the teachers into this crap that you just heard, and you will hear from other school districts around. Now they're just breaking out. But they don't teach critical race theory, because we don't call it that anymore. We call it ethnic studies or some sort of BS. Again, Oscar will be on, hopefully, he's scheduled to be on News Nation on Newsmax from 7 to 9 West Coast time, along with Patty Cabana, or I don't know. We'll run our clip later. One day I'll learn how to pronounce names. This is what's going on in your school district. Plain and simple. So the reason you're not getting the good audio is Moreno Valley First, Fred Banuelos, which you see comment in here once in a while. I don't know if he's in today. Had to tape it because they blank out our faces of the public when we go up to speak. You don't see who we are. So Fred had to put his cell phone up and tape this or broadcast it live or whatever he did. So we got a record of it. So this is the intimidation tactics and the evidence suppression. They don't want you to see Brandy Clark's husband grab the lectern that you see we're speaking at, turn it around and talk to the people. Nothing gets done. You did that about 3 or 4 meetings back. Brandy Clark, who is the president, running the meeting at the Moreno Valley Unified Disorganized Crime Syndicate. So we get up, and I'm glad she did it. Very glad she did. First time, and Fred wasn't there, I don't think, to tape it. So I'm commenting on the superintendent's report. That's an agenda item. You can talk on agenda items on that. So I'm commenting on what the RUV posted in his agenda, and they had sitting out on the table, but he blew by and wouldn't address it during his report. So Brandy Clark tries to stop me, or stops me and says, "You're not on agenda topic, and lady, get your rear end in here and let's have a discussion about it one-on-one. You're badass, Brandy. Bring your husband and set him right over here. Let's get it on." Because you know what? I've had to hit 105-mile-an-hour fastballs at these public meetings from people that are a hell of a lot more experienced than you. And I've been around this game, and I've had to do it. So you want to challenge? Challenge me every frickin' meeting on these rules, because if you're trying to shut people up, if you're trying to get this school district in another mess like Baca versus MVUSD and violating our First Amendment rights to speak, to suppress evidence, to be untransparent, to hide, what are you trying to hide? Every one of you over there. You're all complicit in it unless you speak up. So, attracted the attention of the world's richest man, Elon Musk, Corey DeLangelis, one of the top education experts. We even have a board member from a competing or neighboring school district here tonight. Why they're here? Looking at the absolutely 6-alarm dumpster fire that's been going on in this school district for decades, and you have not done hardly anything to correct it. Now the world knows. We're world famous on something, and it's not very good. You talk about student achievement, especially at Edgemont Elementary, and what the problem is. You've heard it for decades. CJ can testify. He's been on this board 14 years, and I brought it up for every one of those and before. That's right. There is no possible way. That's why this looks like worse than a clown car, 3-ring circus going on here. Then you cut our time. You try to intimidate us. Please bring it on. Then you try to intimidate the kids and the students of telling them, oh, you can't talk about that. Have you ever heard of Baca versus Moreno Valley Unified School District? You can come up here and say whatever you want to. It's called the First Amendment to the Constitution. You ought to teach it in this school. Maybe we wouldn't have the problems we do. Knock it off. Get your act together, please, before you burn this thing clear to the ground. Oh, they'll burn it clear to the ground because they haven't. This has been going on for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 frickin' years. And I defy any one of them. I welcome them in. We'll have a discussion. Anybody. I don't care if you're sweeping the sidewalks at Moreno Valley Unified Disorganized Crime Syndicate. I don't care if you're a teacher, counselor, Ashley Holguin, whomever, Deborah Craig. I don't care. Come on in and defend what you're doing. I don't know how in good conscience anybody could work for that school district. I really don't. I really don't. It's amazing to me of what goes on, of what has gone on, and what is continuing to go on at this very second over there. Here is the aforementioned Fred Banuelos, who taped these meetings so you can actually see what's going on, because the disorganized crime syndicate says, no way, no, we don't want you. You may be heard, but you will never be seen.
At the, on the audio that should never have been said, he used profane language, and it's just unacceptable. I felt that I should wear my Trump shirt because of the things that he said in that audio. And, you know, he has a right to say those things, but not at our schools. That was just crossing the line, and he never should have done that. The profane language, I'm just surprised. There's got to be consequences. Consequences for things that you do, consequences for things that you say. And I'm not sure if he should get fired, you know, but I'm really to that level where there needs to be some major consequences. The other thing that I'm here for is, you know, I've been at Valverde most of my time over there at those school board meetings, but I try to watch these meetings and no one's being broadcast, their faces. Why is that? I have no respect for you guys. I want to know why that's happening, why it went to that point.
I will tell you, Fred, because they're a crime syndicate, because they don't care about you, they don't care about the kids, the 30,000 or whatever kids in that school district. It's all bloody dollars, and screw you. They could give a crap less, and they show it. That is why. You don't have to answer the question. You should go up there and say, we know why you don't, because you only care about yourselves. Whether you have a position as a school board member, whether you're making $200K as a dysfunctional school teacher. Overall, you got to be failing. I'm sure I know there's good school teachers in there, but 3 out of 4 kids are not cannot read, write, or do science at grade level. I don't want to hear no excuses about this or that of the da-da-da-da-da. It worked for 150 frickin' years the way we used to do it, and now that it's failing, you're telling us, oh, we got this better way we told you we were going to do it the last 10 or 20 or 30 years of that. You guys didn't know what you were talking about. Come and explain to me how we've spent 300% more per student, $8K 10 years ago per student in the state of California, K through 14. It's $24,000 freaking dollars. And the results are worse. We spent 3 times the money in 10 years. Tell me how every one of you is not an utter failure that works in the whole frickin' school system of California. That's why they do it, Fred and everyone else. You don't have, I answered the question for you. So I would suggest you don't ask it. You tell them, we know why. We get it. This is one of my fellow Peanut Gallery members, this Luis Palomares, who stepped up to the plate and said this.
Here today. I'm not here about the other matters. I'm here about we want to be seen, not just heard. Blandy Clark, stop doing that to the community here. Are we being filmed right now? This is what this young lady's doing because you're only listening to us, but you're not showing our faces. You're violating our First Amendment right. We're not a half of people here, you know? And you're cutting our time also. So do the right thing, turn the page for the community.
So, Miss Clark, every one of you school board members, the superintendent, about a month ago, the great Sonia Shaw at Chino Valley Unified, they had a controversial issue, tons of speakers, everyone got 3 minutes. But you cannot bother. You cannot bother the crime syndicate with your little concerns about teachers that are telling the kids that their parents want to be white, that wants to run on a racist rant. And the kids think that's okay. You better pay the hell attention of what's going on in your schools. My suggestion is you don't haul ass in the morning, dump your kids off at 7 o'clock, pick them up at 2:30, and don't ask no questions. Because you're killing your kids' future with what they're doing in this Moreno Valley Unified Disorganized Crime Syndicate. Just has to be the bottom of the barrel. But it's going on in practically every school, every public school in California and across. It started here and now it's going across the nation. Look at the news media, the Mockingbird media, this establishment. They're not talking about what we're showing here on this show. Where's your county supervisor? Dr. Extian Gutierrez, supervisor of this area, former mayor of Moreno Valley, former teacher of Moreno Valley Unified. Where is he speaking out? Where is the leadership coming from? Don't hide in the corner, X. Get in here. Get on. You got press releases. You call a press conference. Every one of them TV stations is going to be there. Newspapers and everybody else. You stay silent. You know, you've been on the inside of this. Man up, bud. Or is it just all about you? Is it all about the bucks and getting jobs for your friends? And I'm the Mr. Little Clean guy running around my little suit, and everybody loves me because I'm supervisor. Is that what your world is? Far too often, our politicians, you're getting the straight scoop. This is why. This is why they don't listen to you. They don't give a crap about you. The only thing they give a crap about is making sure you get your ass out there to work and earn a paycheck so they can get in your wallet and steal practically every dime you got and put it in their pocket. This is one of the few outlets anywhere that is going to tell it 100% like it is. All you guys like Steve Johnson and what's going on in Riverside, why don't you broadcast this stuff? Why don't you broadcast the other side? Well, maybe you won't get invited to the parties or something. Or maybe Clarissa Cervantes is great and we got to work with her. Man up, bud. Or continue to watch the destruction and degradation that's going on in our community.
Concerns. Unfortunately, I didn't hear anything back from anybody. Nobody cared to help or step forward. The only reason why the news is here is because a student actually recorded the teacher. But my student, which was retaliated against, was basically forced to transfer out of this district and is now in Valverde. My younger student that I had to remove from your district as well, I don't know if you guys care that your levels are so low when we have...
Of course they don't care. Look, go back to the study session we had a couple months ago. That was absolutely stupid. Dr. Arce, come in here and defend what you're doing because you couldn't run a garbage disposal, much less be the chief academic official. The way you ran that meeting was stupid. You'll never get in. You'll continue to run the student achievement into the ground, playing your little games and the emotional crap. We can explain to you in 30 minutes here and straighten all that out, and this is what you need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom! Oh, we're going to... Shut up! Parents are pulling their kids out of this school district because it's the worst of the worst of the worst. Tired of sissies and won't stand up and can't do this. And
30 seconds.
It's getting flat ridiculous. As Jesse said, we'll be joining the Mighty Met KMET 1490 AM, and we'll pick up on more of this stuff going on in the clips of the Moreno Valley Unified S Show, Part 2, that went on Tuesday night at the school board meeting. Just an example of what's been going on over there for decades.
All right, 2 seconds. Here we go.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Views expressed do not necessarily go.
Slide guitar music that comes in every Monday through Friday live at 5:30 on the Mighty Med 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire and the aforementioned AM band. Join your vast video audience on the Evil FB Network and Rumble. Check us out, subscribe, type in iNewsWire on Rumble. We're doing part 2, the redo of the Moreno Valley Unified Crime Syndicate's disorganized crime syndicate. Let me get that right. Show that went on at the school board meeting of that has went viral across the nation. We've been featured on the Daily Mail, biggest newspaper in the entire freaking world. New York Post. You heard Oscar Avila. He's going to be on Newsmax along with Patty Kabbalah, I think is her name, or whatever. They're going to be on sometime between 7 and 9 o'clock tomorrow morning on News Nation, on Newsmax network that runs all over the world of that. And this is the attention we've got. You better pay attention. And this is going on in all school districts. The racism, the indoctrination, making your kids stupid so they can control them. This is the bottom line of what's been going on. And you will not hear this. You have not heard this. What did you hear on Channel 7 or 5 or 2? The reports, oh, the kids are mad, or they're going to walk out because they want their teacher back, and he didn't say anything. We're 75% Latino, and he said, if you're to all the Latino students, if your dad, if your uncles, if your grandpa, or whatever, voted for Trump, they're doing so because they wish they were white. Using the F word, the S word profusely through the class in Valley View High School in Moreno Valley. Luis Palomares has been down at that school district because she's had grandkids in there for years telling them it's a disaster over there. Do something. And they say, no, you're crazy. Oh, everything's good of that. We got Christmas tree. We give away candy to the kids when they come in. Everybody's just joyful because they ain't learning anything. Well, yeah, what are they doing? Playing jacks all day or something? 3 out of 4 kids are not at grade level, so they obviously ain't learning reading, writing, and arithmetic. Picking up on more of the people that spoke on there, Ken Prado, who is, I think, elected 2 years ago when I ran across him, he got elected to the school board at Hemet Unified. He's also big in the Lexit movement, which is Latinos getting out of the enslavement. It's Blacksit, I think, for blacks, of the Democratic left-wing loon stuff. And you're seeing the progress guys like Ken Prado and others have made in the Trump election, but that's a story for a different day. Hopefully we're going to get Ken in here for an hour or so in studio, and we'll bat this stuff around because he's had 2 years on the inside of the school board of being an actual school board member. He has a student in his family that attends Moreno Valley Unified, and I think Valley View School in Pacifics, but we'll ask him that when he comes in. This is a neighboring school board member, Kenneth Prado from Hemet, came to the show of a meeting and what's going on in the schools in Moreno Valley, and this is what he had to say.
That was in one of Mr. Perez's classes. What we have here, as a lot of people will speak about, is a regurgitation of rhetoric that has been going on for quite a few years. It goes on from the top level by former presidents, by the 44th one, all the way through his cabinet, through certain members, through media, through celebrities, through the governor of California now wants.
You just want to stop there. The 44th president was Barack Obama. I've told you he's been the chief racist, maybe in our history, definitely of the United States. Racist and cheap. Now you're Mr. Ken Prado. Seems to me like he's echoing the same sentiments if you think what I'm doing up here is whistling Dixie. So here we go.
To do Trump-proof California, and also through one of your representatives from Assembly District 60, Mr. Corey Jackson, when he called Mr. Belisali a white supremacist because he's a Republican. Some of you voted for him to be reelected.
Are you proud, Moreno Valley? Are you proud you reelected Corey Jackson again to the state assembly? And you know what? Belisali is a Muslim. His family came from the Middle East. Corey Jackson got his start in Moreno Valley at the Disorganized Crime Syndicate with the mentoring program. Let's have a full accounting of what went on. Chad Bianco, you're supposed to be a badass. Then why don't you run an investigation? I think there's already one down there. Mike Hestron, DA. What's been going on with the kids in Moreno Valley and the mentoring program and Corey Jackson? Let's have some transparency and accountability. Let's protect our kids, please.
And if you know last legislation session, Mr. Jackson tried to be physically aggressive towards Mr. Belisali. But what I want to sit here and say is, the bad words that were being spoken by Mr. Perez is bad enough. I've heard students sit here and say how they admire him as a teacher. That may be so. But when you're in a position like that, you are held up to a bigger standard. What's good for the goose is what's good for the gander. You want to sit there and accuse people that they will be, to sit there and call other students when the majority of your student population is Hispanic, that they know politics in their household, these students. And what you just did is make the most racist comment to tell them that their fathers, blessed to have their fathers in their home, like myself, that if they voted for Trump, that they only did it because they wish they were white. That is the worst of it all. Shame on him, and I know you will do your due process. Thank you.
So that's Ken Prado, who had a student in one of Mr. Perez's classes. And as he rightfully said, and you don't think, I want every one of you who doubted anything I've said over the years about the Disorganized Crime Syndicate and the racism that has been going on. They are anti-transparency, anti-accountability, and screw you. One of them to come in here and defend what they have been doing. And on top of that, have guts enough to come in and say how you are going to change these policies right the frick now. What are you going to do? Every one of you school board members, and especially our, say, the chief academic official, Dr. Robert Verdi, Human Resources, you're supposed to be the guy watching over this. I'd fire every one of them teachers. Everybody that's been letting this crap go on, the Landmark, Diego, I went up there a month before Diego got killed. Said, you got a powder keg going on at Landmark and Sunnymead, middle school, something's gonna happen. I don't know what. Damned if it wasn't our worst fears came true. And that was what, 6, 7 years ago? And you've made it frickin' worse. And you sit there and try and shut us up. Rube, you should have said. As soon as Brandy Clark said shut him down, she should have said, no, I put that in my report. He's allowed under the First Amendment of the Constitution, under our bylaws and everything else, to say it. It rudely and inappropriately interrupted somebody, but no, you had to go up there and tell the kids they couldn't say anything. Screw you. And if you don't like it, come in here and defend yourself, because I'm tired of this bull crap. Like this community is. Here's Bob Palomares, part of the peanut gallery out there that comes to almost every school meeting with us. Here's his comments. We thought.
For the student safety. You know, you talk about everything, how grand it is, but yet they bring complaints and it falls on deaf ears. They can go to the teachers, but the teachers aren't counselors, they're not police officers. It's not their job. It's your job to take care of these kids from door to door. And you know that. I mean, you know, you all talk great, but half of it's a lot of bull because you gotta talk that way. Me, I come up here and talk because I wanna talk this way, because it's the truth. You know, there was an incident, but first of all, Mr. Rubalcaba, you and Brandy have no right to tell a student what their civil rights are. You're not a constitutional lawyer. Another thing, there was a gentleman going back that was standing at the podium. He turns it around and he's yelling at the audience. Her husband. You know, that's ghetto.
Mr. Palomares said it exactly right. It's ghetto. That man was Brandy Clark's husband that turned that around a couple meetings ago, turned the podium around, picked it up, spun it 180 degrees and was talking to the audience. He's the one in there causing a disturbance, talking, I believe, my opinion, trying to intimidate people to come up there and speak. His wife, Brandy Clark, the president, allowed that to happen continuously and repeatedly multiple times at the meeting. And as I said later, Rubalcaba, you should not have said that. You should be teaching the Constitution of the United States to these kids that they have the right to talk. They have a right to address that school board. They have a right to free political speech, and they should have the expectation that they're not going to be intimidated by the superintendent of Moreno Valley Unified Disorganized Crime Syndicate that can put the hammer on them while they're in that school. Tell me you're not a thug. Because that's exactly what you did, in my opinion, last night. It's beyond this. This is, I believe, where Joanne's coming up to speak. Joanne Steffen, Planning Commissioner, part of the Peanut Gallery, too. It's there almost every meeting. Here we go.
Joanne Martinez.
Keep laughing.
Joanne Martinez.
This is a joke, right? Our kids are a joke.
No, the kids are a little.
The kids are a joke.
Please be quiet.
And then when
It's my time now.
That there is Joanne Steffen, who is talking to Brandy Clark's husband, who is talking to her as she's walking to the podium, which his wife and board president said you are not supposed to do. And this is about the 8,042nd time he has done it. Here we go.
Creepers. If that would have been any one of us, you would have had us taken out because you kept saying, warning, my God, you're ready to throw Louise out.
Start her time.
Start my time. He's taking my time.
So there he is. He's talking all across where Joanne's trying to allow or have us exercise her 2 minutes that she's allowed to have to address the school board. Oh, we're not finished.
Yes, you did.
Go ahead.
Your time is reset.
Oh my gosh, it's a crap show here. It really is. I've never seen it in 30 years, Brandy, since I've been in this district. Oh my God, now he's taking my time again. Can you please shut up? I'm asking you to be quiet.
Oh, Mr. Clark, I like you too. You want to see how badass you are? Well, why don't you challenge Joanne Steff and Luis Palomares? She had to tell you to shut up. You interrupted her multiple times while she was trying to speak at the podium. I invite both the Clarks in here, Mr. and Mrs. Clark. We'll go till the cows come home. You dudes who think you're badass, and come on in.
What do you mean don't talk to you like that? Oh, I forgot your.
Okay, so listen, if we can't get, you're disrupting the meeting, you're disrupting, everybody's gonna have
I'm
to
not
go,
disrupting,
so
he's
stop.
disrupting my
I hear
time.
you, I'm not talking to
Oh, well, you just got to point at me and say you're
I'm not
disrupting
pointing
me.
at anyone. This is on camera.
No, it's well, if Fred wasn't there, it would be on camera. You shut him off, Brandy. On top of that, you're not talking to anybody. Well, you weren't talking to Joanne, but you weren't talking to anybody. Quit double talking it, lady. Stand up for what you're doing. If you want your husband to be in there intimidating everybody or do whatever he wants, then say it. Have guts enough to say it.
Start her time over, don't say anything. I did a disclaimer at the beginning of the meeting, it still holds true. We're gonna have to ask people to leave if you keep disrupting, and that's it.
That's about the 87th time your husband's interrupted the meeting. You only have to give one warning. State law, go look it up. I mean, I'm no lawyer, give legal advice, so go look it up. Get your school board attorneys we're paying for to check it all out. Don't give me no... You give them one warning, then they're out of there. You can have them removed. You did not do it.
Everybody across the board. Okay, Mrs. Go.
Oh, Christ. This is crazy. You know, we have never, ever had a school board meetings like this. So it must be the people sitting on the board, and I'm sorry to say 2 of the girls are gone, and we're getting new ones. And
like Joanne said, been there 30 years, the whole gamut, and we could go through that. The intimidation tactics. It's absolutely 1,000% incredible of what goes on each and every day. It's fantastic. Here's the last young lady, I think Patty Kabbalah, who will be on Newsmax tomorrow, I believe, between 7 and 9 o'clock, West Coast time.
Four hours later.
That's Louise saying, yeah, 4 hours they make us wait.
Good evening, board. My name is Patricia Cabada. A child died today. He committed suicide due to bullying in school. Can you ensure every parent that is in the teacher's classroom that did all of those racial outbursts will not be bullied? Can you guarantee that no child that has that teacher, that father or grandfather voted for President Trump, will they be bullied? And if so, what are you going to do about it? It is time that the schools, the school district, stop tolerating hate speech in class. Right. There should be zero tolerance for hate speech. To say that a Hispanic man wants to be white, that is a racial... Sorry. I'm offended. Yo soy mexicana. I am chicana. I am indigenous, and my family voted for Trump. I have family members that also voted for Kamala Harris, but does that give me an excuse or anyone else a reason to racially attack them? No, it doesn't. What are you going to do about this teacher? Because he should be fired. There should be zero tolerance for hate speech. And ma'am, you really need to stop with the grinning. All I see is a room full of parents that are very angry. You need to be respectful. All of you need to be reminded you are public servants. The people pay for you to be there, and the people can remove you quickly. You need to remind yourselves that what are you going to do when children start being bullied because of the hate speech that this teacher was saying in the classroom? Again, can you guarantee any of the parents that their child will not be bullied? Because now you are put on notice. If any child is harassed because of the disgusting rhetoric that was put in the class, now you are legally put on notice. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's a crap show of that. I didn't have time to get to Chino Valley. There was a teacher that melted down SoCal across the board. You didn't even have time to get the racist gangs in there of all the stuff going on. RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who was nominated for Health and Human Services. That hopefully we'll get to that tomorrow. But man, and again, Patty and the other gentleman that was on there will be on Newsmax between 7 and 9 on News Nation, talking about this at the school board on that tomorrow morning. So if you get to tune in, I'm sure we'll have the clips of it tomorrow of how that interview went. We're getting national attention. Daily Mail, biggest newspaper in all the world, New York Post, everywhere else. Our station, everywhere in SoCal. Oh, this didn't happen. You know, men out there, you got to start growing some frickin' balls. Quit sitting behind your desk. Quit playing with your stupid phones. Stand up for your kids. Stand up for your wives and girlfriends. Quit being little kitty cats and hiding under the table. It's embarrassing to be part of the retarded half the population anymore. The gutless wonders we're all becoming. I hope we're going to start taking out the trash. More of you men need to get your vests on, white t-shirt, MAGA hat, and your garbage can. Say, oh, you want to play the thugocracy? Then this is, guess what? Bring it on. Just because Trump won doesn't mean we can quit. Or he can do it all alone. We've all got to play our part. We've allowed it to get to this, and it's we working together that's going to straighten it out, if it's going to be straightened out. That's the bottom line. That's the fact, Jack. As you know, I've been talking about standing up for our country, doing something. These big box stores stayed open while the little guys closed. Will our voices be heard? Does voting with our dollars work? PatriotSwitch.com gives patriots the power to walk away from the big box stores forever. Stop supporting the enemies of freedom now. That's why PatriotSwitch.com was created, for those who support America. PatriotSwitch.com. Is your car doing the hucklebuck and afraid you will be stuck? Well, head on down to Toyota of San Bernardino, Nissan of San Bernardino, Subaru of San Bernardino, and the San Bernardino Auto Mall, and catch a Camry, look ravishing in a Rogue, or be styling in a Subaru. Don't forget I-10 Toyota in Indio for those of you in the lower desert. You deserve to be the happiest human on the planet. So head on down to one of these 4 great dealerships for the car of your dreams. Spread the word. IE Newswire is now on every Monday through Friday, live at 5 p.m. on Rumble and KMET 1490 AM, 5:30 to 6 p.m. Join all the cool kids who want an eclectic look at the news without all the filters of the evil scoundrels of social media and the despicable dorks of the dominant press. Don't bumble and stumble. Subscribe to IE Newswire on Rumble and roll with the best hillbilly hoedown around. That's it. If you want to buy American, go to PatriotSwitch.com. If you need a new Subaru or Toyota, go to one of Cliff Cummings' great dealerships in San Bernardino Auto Mall at the 10 or 215 freeways over at I-10 Toyota down in the lower desert. Hey, If you guys want this stuff fixed, you better start. Look, who else has covered this or any other subject the way it is? Quit supporting all these other yaks that ain't doing it, that ain't cutting it. Turn off the radio, turn off the TV, smash your little cell phones, and actually start getting to some reality. If you want this stuff fixed, we got to band together and we got to start telling the truth. We got to take the garbage out because we got a lot of it to remove. You just seen a scant little percentage of the garbage that we got to take out in order to fix this. And only we're going to fix it if it's going to be fixed. Or are we going to let the greatest country in the history of the world and flush it right down the toilet? That's what's before us. Hopefully, in 2025, we can start reporting some more positive stories of how we're taking out the trash, how we're cleaning things up, and how it's getting better, but we shall see. That'll do it for today on this Practice Friday. As we usually say at this time, it's mandatory you're back here in 23 hours. Why? To hear the best darn show in the whole wide world. Till then, see ya!
All right, I will see you tomorrow. Do you want me to stop before the show or after?
Whichever works. I should be okay either way. Just let me know what works for you.
Okay, cool. All right, no problem.
You got it.